Last time I spent $47 and got this much value.
These last 3 days have been full of a lot of game, a lot of gems.
Like, this has helped me get out of my own head.
You've given us the cheat codes.
This is really validating the calling that I believe God has been, nudging me to say, it's time to come up higher.
Now I know how to obtain those speaking engagements, who I need to contact, what I need to send. So this was absolutely beneficial to everything I want to do going forward.
There were multiple unlocks for me.
I walked away with just seeing my work and my voice and my purpose.
Both Pierre and Kimon are experts in what they do, and them together provide us with the opportunity to become experts in a speaking space in what we do uniquely and confidently.
Y'all, if you haven't joined this challenge or you haven't joined the academy, you're wasting time. Do it now.
I always love to hear Ramona say
that last one every single time.
If you haven't joined the challenge, if you haven't joined the academy, what are you doing? Do it now.
You're wasting time.
Yeah, do it now. Do it now. Listen, happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to this live. Kimon Hines here, joined with my good friend, my buddy, my partner in helping people become free and speak, Pierre Quinn. What's up, Pierre?
Hey, man, it's a bye week for my Detroit Lions, so I ain't got nothing to do.
Oh, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Makes sense.
We here.
It's like my brother was like, "Yo, let's go live." I was like, "Okay, what time the Lions play?" I didn't even get around to figuring out what time y'all were playing. Now I get it.
Truth be told, man, even if the Lions were playing this week, we would still be on because we're about to do something really special starting tomorrow.
Yeah, and
I don't want people to miss it. So yeah, we were going to be on either way.
Awesome. Listen, if y'all are watching this live, just go ahead and put the word live. Just put live in the chat. I want to know that you're on here, that we can shout you out as we begin this live today. I believe we have a topic that is going to resonate with quite a few of you. So just put the word live in the comments. And if you really want to be a digital disciple and help someone else with what they are challenged with, just go ahead and click that share button because someone else might need exactly what we're talking about today. All right, so Pierre, let me give a little backstory. For the last few weeks, we have been doing challenges. We did a coaching track with Myron and myself, and we help people to understand that they've been coaching all along. They just haven't understood it as the calling on their life. And so we helped a lot of people figure that out. And then last week, Athena and myself, Athena just blew us all out, helping us understand writing and how there are books inside of us and what our writing style is. So it's just amazing. And so this coming week, we're doing the speaking track. This is our 4th time doing it this year. And I am more excited about this one than anyone. And that doesn't mean I wasn't excited about the others. It's just my excitement continues to grow. How about you? How are you feeling about this particular challenge, this 4th challenge that we're doing?
Man, I look at it kind of like the same way I do my speeches and speech content. When I first deliver, especially new content, like I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. And when I get to that next time, I'm a little bit more comfortable. I understand my movements and my pacings a little bit more. That 3rd time, I'm hopping into my sweet spot. And then that 4th time of delivering that presentation, that keynote, man, I'm ready to jump out of my chair when they're doing the introduction of the speaker because I know what's about to happen. All the previous iterations, shaped us up for this moment. And it's the same with this challenge, man. 1st time was amazing. 2nd time, a little higher. 3rd time, a little higher. And the 4th time, I think it's nice that we're ending the year with this 4th challenge. And I know it's going to be something special.
And let me tell y'all, we did something. Some people just do the same thing over and over. We actually said, what can we include this time that we haven't before, that will help people even more, add some new content, add some new features. So that I'm pretty excited about. And so if you have done the challenge before, you want to do it again. Run it back. All right. And if you have not, in the words of Ramona, what you doing? What are you doing? Right?
You wasting time.
You're wasting time. So come on in. Again, if you're watching this live, just put the word live in the comments. We want to shout you out. So Pierre, our topic this evening, and I think it's one that is going to be really relevant for a lot of people. We sort of used your voice. If you're watching this, I'm not a speaker. I just want to grow my business. I'm not a speaker. I just want to grow my business. So before we jump in there, if you can resonate with that title, if you've ever said that, just put me in the comments. I just want some honest people so that if someone else is thinking it, they'll know, wait a minute, I'm not the only one with that thought. So if you've ever thought, I'm not a speaker, I just want to grow my business. I just want to sell whatever it is. I want to sell my books. I just want to sell my coaching. I just want to sell my services. I just want to sell this product. I'm not a speaker. I just want to I just want to grow my business. Now, Pierre, before I get there, because people are going to ask, well, Pierre, like you step on stages, right? Because that's the comparison. Yeah. What's the biggest stage you've ever stepped on in terms of people you spoke to?
Biggest stage. And let me give you the biggest virtual stage. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Biggest virtual stage, 6,000.
Okay.
6,000. Yeah.
That's serious. That's serious.
Person stage, I would say about 3,500.
Okay. Hey, Cerise, good to see you on live here. Good.
Yeah, shout out to Cerise, one of our challenge alums. And if you could, Cerise, just drop. Let us know in the comments. Let us know how your challenge experience has been and how's that working out for you.
Yeah.
Let me know. Let the world know how's that working out for you.
Yeah. I love it. So the reason I mention that is I've stepped on stages, thousands as well, and some people because they know your background, because they know my background, because they know the work you're doing, they'll say, "Well, that's not me. I can't do that. I can't do the big stage. I can't do the big audience. So this speaking challenge is not for me, or this whole building speaking business is not for me because I get stage fright. I get nervous, whatever. So it's not for me." And I think what we want to do this evening is talk to you. Yeah. Just talk to you to help you realize how relevant this is for you. Even though you're hearing these numbers, we want you to know, yes, we've been on stages that big. And if you want to get on those kind of stages, we can help you. But if you just want to grow your business, we believe that this speaking challenge and speaking itself is a way to grow your business. So Pierre, kind of talk to us. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, you know how it goes whenever we hop on live and we frame out our couple of talking points and we know the direction that we're going to go, because this also is a form of speaking, right?
Yes.
And something just pops up. Something just pops up. So right before you hit that live button, this popped into my head. I was having a conversation with my dad maybe a year or two ago, and he was just talking about speaking and how he wishes back in the day, several years ago, as an entrepreneur, because I'm an entrepreneur's kid. As much as I am a church kid, I'm also an entrepreneur's kid. And my dad said, I wish I had developed the ability to speak like you when I was much younger. And we started just going back and forth with that conversation a bit. And I remember watching my dad. So our business growing up, we owned and operated dry cleaners and commercial laundry. So just to give you just a snapshot of what that is, all of us have been to a dry cleaners before in some form or fashion. Sometimes we don't think about your doctors in the hospital, who cleans their lab coats, in the hospitals, who cleans nursing gowns, for the law enforcement, who cleans all of their uniforms. So our cleaning business encompassed a lot of those people who are working on the front lines and doing laundry and uniforms and rugs and all of that stuff for them. Well, man, how did my dad build his business? My dad, my grandmother, and my uncle, how did my dad, is primarily on sales, build this business? He had to have conversations with people.
Yeah.
So he had to have conversations with the county government. We had a huge contract with the county government to do sheriff uniforms, to do boot camp, to do fatigues, to do linens, to do lab coats. Well, he only got that contract because he sat down, had a conversation with a decision maker and pitched his services. People coming into the door asking about the cleaners, how long we've been in business. You got to give them the 30-second unique selling proposition of why they should choose your small family-owned business versus the chain, dry cleaner chain in the rest of the city that's popular, that has commercials on TV. So I watched him go down to City Hall and advocate for small businesses in our city of Pontiac and step to the microphone and express his points. So my dad is not a professional speaker, never has been a professional speaker, but I have these vivid memories of watching my dad use speaking to grow our family dry cleaning and commercial laundry business.
That's such a good point. The principle that you talked about there is, for everyone who has a business, there are some principles of speaking that you need to use in order to grow any business you have. And you just mentioned something, that unique selling proposition that you said your dad had to get clear on. Pierre, I think one of the things we work with people in our challenge on, right, is coming up with that unique selling proposition. But let's go on the other side of that. If I'm unclear, right, whatever business you have, if I am unclear about what it is I have, who my business is for, and why people should do business with me, what does that do for any business out there?
Well, if you're unclear, like if you're unclear, and this is a principle from coaching, because I know we did a coaching challenge, and then we did a writing challenge, and now we're doing a speaking challenge. And I want to give you a principle from coaching that helps here. When you're coaching people, I do a lot of coaching, a lot of training. My speaking is in the leadership space. And one of the things that we underline, we circle, we double click on it to use corporate language. If you are unclear, you are unkind. If you are unclear, you are unkind. And if you want people to buy your good, your product or service, it has to have radical clarity around what the opportunity is. A confused buyer is not a buyer.
Says no. A confused mind says no.
If you tell me, and this happens a lot we coach people through this, when you're having a conversation with a potential decision maker and you say, I do this, or I do this, or I do this, or I do that. And they're like, no, well, clearly you haven't figured out. And our running joke is we don't want people to be the Walmart of speaking. We don't want you to be the Walmart of food trucks, the Walmart of tailors, or the Walmart of coaches, whatever it is. And Pierre, why do you say Walmart? Well, Walmart, we know this. You know this from experience. They sell a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But they're not really known for one thing.
Yeah.
And because they sell a little bit of everything and they're not really known for one thing, of course, there are a billion Walmarts and they have a unique business model. And for a entrepreneur, a one-person business to try to adapt a similar model to be all things to all people is a recipe for failure. Because when people are coming to you, they need a specific question answered. They need a specific need met. They need a specific service offered. And then once they connect with you, you could open them up to the menu or portfolio of what you have. But you need to be clear. And if you're not being clear, you're not being kind to the people who could potentially work with you.
And that's one of the things that we do inside of our speaking challenge. For whatever business you have to understand with real clarity, what is it I bring to the table, who I serve, and why should they do business with me? And that's one of the things that you're going to get inside of the speaking challenge. I want to capture this comment that Cherise said, and then we'll go. Cherise says, the challenge was intimidating, encouraging, empowering, powerful, income increasing. I'm gonna double click on that one.
Yeah,
income
I like that.
Increasing.
Shout out, Cerise.
I learned a lot and I grew a lot. And if I had actually followed all the steps, I'd be further along in my goal. So what Cherise is saying, I made progress and there's still ways for me to go. Right. And so maybe Cherise, you come back in the challenge, right? For others. Yeah. But here is a principle. Here's a point for us all. Every business grows through conversations. Yeah. Every business. I don't care what your business is. Your dad's business, you were sharing, Pierre, conversations, right? You write books. You want to sell those books. Conversations. You create widgets. conversations. A service-based business where you are doing work for people, conversations. And so what we want you to understand is
Love it.
speaking is a way to clarify and to have the conversations that build trust. And when you build trust, your income increases, your impact increases.
Oh, this is college application season in my house, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about this more in the challenge. So college application season, man, all of these flyers coming into the house, and everybody wants my daughter to do a campus visit or schedule a virtual tour so that she can speak to one of their admission counselors. And I'm sure the admission counselor, because I used to work in admissions, the admission counselor has a script. They have talking points. They have to speak to convince whoever books an appointment with them to choose their particular college or university. So they're not in the business of being full-time speakers, but they're using speakers to grow the enrollment at their school. It's critical. It's like you said, it's critical. It's a core component to being successful in any line of business. You have to be able to talk knowledgeably about what you do to different types of people.
Absolutely. And so what we want to share with you, you have 3 levels of everyday speaking that you need to grow your business. We're going to talk about all 3 and show you how all 3 of them can benefit through what we're talking about in the speaking challenge, right? You may not want to be in front of the 4,000, the 2,000. And in fact, even with speaking as a business, that isn't always the case. Pierre, you tell us the size of the room. I want you to finish it. The size of the room.
The size of the room doesn't necessarily reflect the size of the honorarium.
Yeah, the check. Yeah, that check. The check. Right. And so you may not be at a big stage. You might be in a workshop. You may be doing a breakout, and you're still getting paid well to do that. But we want to talk about these 3 levels of speaking that will grow your business. And if you're watching this live, just put live in the comments. We want to shout you out. First one is private speaking. That's your coaching call. That's your team meeting. That's your conversation like your dad is having with another decision maker. Private speaking. And what is super important in private speaking is building connection. People need you to be able, as you mentioned with your daughter, they want to hear her. They want to see her, watch body language, but also know, can she clearly articulate the value she brings to the table?
Listen, man, I got to shake my monetize your ministry pen on that. I got to shake my pen on that, because this is one of the areas, man. And maybe we'll talk about this in the master class. Oops, should I set that already? Well, it's out. Maybe we'll talk about this a little bit in the master class down the road. That you have to ask yourself, what do people call you consistently, and ask you to walk them through? Hey, real quick, can you explain to me how you do X, Y, and Z? Can you explain to me how you do A, B, and C? Or I'm having a difficult time in this area of my life. Can you walk me through? Can you give me some advice? And we do that for family and friends, and we don't even think about the fact that we are coaching them. And this coaching, we're building these connections, and by building these connections, people automatically think the next time I have an issue, the next time I can't use a streaming platform, or the next time I'm trying to figure out what colors to coordinate for an event that I have this weekend, and I'm about to go to the mall to buy a suit. The next time I have a challenge like that, I'm going to go back to Kimon, because last time he walked me through it beautifully. And we discount, we minimize, we overlook the fact that in some of these everyday coaching conversations, we're building connection, and we're framing ourselves as an authority. And that is a definite way from everyday speaking that you can grow and especially monetize.
So speaking helps you to grow your business through those one-on-one conversations, through those meetings, through those, just making that connection there and building that trust. And because really that's the word, right? People do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust.
If anybody who's watching this live, or the replay of this, is thinking about how to incorporate or leverage or benefit from speaking or from everyday speaking, we're talking to a lot of people who are already people leaders.
Yeah.
You're already coaching people. You're already resolving conflict. You're already walking people through, especially in orientation, how to do specific tasks related to the job and these everyday conversations. And by having those everyday conversations, it changes the way that people feel about you and the way they interact with you. And one of the things that we're saying is you may be in your own head saying, I'm not trying to be a big time public speaker. That's cool. That's fine. We understand. We embrace, we celebrate that for you. I love that for you. And we want to say, how can you leverage the everyday conversational speaking that you're already doing, maybe in the capacity of a coach, to enhance the business you currently have, or to build out, possibly, as we discovered in our first challenge, a coaching business by itself.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Our guy Eric King is over here on Instagram, and he says, I attended your live in-person training. It was eye-opening and impactful. Hey, Eric, man, appreciate that. And Eric, you know speaking. You know speaking, because that's what you do. You have your stage that you put speakers on, and I'm glad that you were able to come and to just, gain from us, but also pour into those of us who are in the room through the mutual sharing. So private speaking. Now, the second one, and this is almost an example of it. We're doing this right now here, Pierre, is what I call platform speaking, right?
Yeah.
Which is you are on someone's platform, you are on someone's internet, wherever's internet is now, right? It's on a live, it's on a podcast, it's on a webinar. And the purpose of that speaking is to build credibility. Now, I'll say this, people gain credibility by association.
Yeah.
I am considered more of an authority in speaking because I'm on a live with Pierre Quinn, right? Like, I'm borrowing that credibility. But here's the point that we're making.
Yeah.
When you get onto certain platforms online, you have to, again, clearly articulate what your message is, clearly know who your audience is, and how to share with that audience. And that is also a benefit you gain through the speaking challenge, because we really help you to just narrow in, so that when someone asks you, can you join my podcast? I know, Sharice, I've seen you on a few lives with Miguel and others. That crystal clarity that you came away from the challenge with, it helped you to be able to get on those platforms and add amazing value.
Yo, Sharice, if you're still on with us, just let me know where you're speaking next. I want to know. I want to know where you're speaking next. Here's the thing about platform speaking, and you mentioned being on another person's live, another person's podcast, how we borrow credibility from leveraging platform speaking. And a lot of us may find comfort here. We find comfort in being interviewed, where we find comfort in being the interviewer. And it's if you leverage that skill, develop that skill, it's an amazing skill to have. Years ago, I had a podcast, and we're talking about building credibility. I mean, Kimon gave us an excellent framing on this. Years ago, I had a podcast. I wanted to have a conversation or have conversations around leadership. I wanted to have conversations around leadership, and I wanted to leverage the authority. I wanted to leverage the market resonance of other people. I knew I needed to do that. So I started this podcast on leadership, and here was this isn't about podcasting, so I'm giving y'all this strategy. This is for free. I went to Amazon, come on, and I started hitting up everybody who recently released a book on leadership, because I know they need some publicity for their book, and I need to borrow some of their credibility. And I got a handful of people to hop on the podcast and talk about their book. It started to go so well that there was this publicist who hit me up one day and said, hey, we listened to your podcast. We'd love to send a few authors your way. Would you be open to that, to us partnering this way? So they would send me 5 to 10 books every month.
Wow.
They said,
free.
Go over the books. Yeah, free. Go over the books. Whoever you want to interview, let us know. We'll have them on the show. So I built my credibility as a leadership speaker simply by interviewing people who were experts in some capacity or some level of leadership. And then in turn, because I was interviewing, people in turn started to interview me, and I started to be on other people's pods, because not only are you the guy that talks to people about leadership, you are the guy who interviews significant figures in the leadership space. And that helped to boost my credibility. So now, man, when I go places and speak, people are talking about podcast interviews from years ago. They said, well, we wanted to know who was coming to our conference and to speak. And I looked you up and I Googled you, and you've interviewed some really cool people. And they'll drop an episode number. And I haven't. It's been years, man, since that 3-4 years since that pod. But I'm still reaping the benefits of platform speaking, both on my own platform, my own podcast, and on others' platforms as well.
So Pierre, real quick, tell someone, okay, private speaking, platform speaking, how can the challenge help that? Coming to this speaking challenge, spending 3 days with us, Monday to Wednesday, 7 to 8, you get training, 8 to 9, you're getting the coaching inside of the community, you're doing the home. How can that help us with those two areas that we now are realizing, okay, I need to talk to people to build my business. I need to get on platforms to build my business. How can this challenge help me with those?
So one thing, man, and we need to elevate even how we talk about this or having this conversation in the challenge. In many cases, you're in the challenge with people who have podcasts.
Good point.
You're in the challenge with people who have podcasts and lives.
And Cerise is a perfect example. She was on Miguel's podcast, doing something with him. So you're right. I've seen that. I know Phil Wesley has had Roycelyn on his podcast, people who were in the challenge together. So it's calling a few names.
Yeah. So it's you're the opportunity to be on podcasts just from the people who are in the cohort with you. So that's one. Two, the opportunity to host your own webinar or live in collaboration with people who are also in the cohort. Because a lot of us think, well, where am I going to find the stage, or where am I going to find the podcast, or I don't quite know. There are two things that we talk about: how to build and set your own stages, and how to find those other stages and places as well, other people's stages. And there's a unique synergy. We can't really explain it here. It's something that has to be experienced. When you're in a cohort with people who are working, all work works, and who are working in similar ways, and you find that resonance, you also find opportunities you would not have experienced any other place.
That's good.
So that's critical. The other part of it is from private speaking, from platform speaking, and then even in the third one that we're going to talk about shortly, it really centers around three things that we talk about in our challenge. One is what you think about. Many of us are far away from the opportunities because our mind isn't right. So we got to get that mindset right.
Yeah.
That's the foundational piece. Like if you don't get mindset right, the other pieces don't matter. And it's not just mindset. We build on mindset to talk about, okay, there's a methodology to it. We're not just shooting in the dark here. There are actual steps that you take. And if you take these steps, you will get responses. And then we teach you how to craft the message. Once the microphone is hot, once the lights are on, once the camera is on, how do you frame what you want to say in a way that's going to be not only captivating, but in a way that positions you for people to ask you to do this all over again. And we talk about that through the challenge. Get your mind right, get your methods right, and get your message right, no matter what platform you are on.
Love it. Cherie says, agree. Still connecting, still planning with my cohorts. And that's what we talk about. Listen, it's, sometimes people are like, I just want the information. No, you want the experience. Trust me. You want the experience. You want the experience of connecting with other people during the live part of it. And we're actually going to give you more opportunities for that in this one that we have before. Posting your video, getting that encouragement, seeing other people. I'm just telling you, if you're a part of our community, you're watching this now, you're going to have huge FOMO, right? Fear of missing out if you don't jump in the channel. I'm just telling you, because it's happened before. People were like, yo, why didn't y'all let me know? This is why we're on here on a Sunday evening. We're trying to let you know, right? So
let me throw this in there real quick, man. You talked about people just say, just give me the information. And you're like, no, you want the experience with the information. How do I know that's true? Because y'all, shout out to Roycelyn, who's hanging out with us. Y'all have watched a ton of YouTube videos. You've watched a ton of asynchronous content. You've watched a ton of recorded stuff. You got oodles and oodles and oodles of information that you have not taken action on, because you need a little bit of encouragement, you need a little bit of accountability, and the practical information. And our challenge provides all of that. A little bit of encouragement, a little bit of accountability, a lot of information. And as they work together with the relationships in the cohort, amazing things happen. And we're not just talking about what a program promise. We're talking about the DMs and text messages and videos we see from our students who are out there, private speaking, platform speaking, and then the other one that we're going to talk about shortly.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So you kind of been hinting at this one. So let me give it to y'all. Private speaking. So that builds connection.
Yeah.
Platform speaking builds credibility. And I guess I should have queued this one up. So give me a second, right? This third one.
Yeah. Cue up that third one. Yeah.
It's public speaking, and that builds visibility. That's what the third one is. Public speaking.
Let me tell you about this. All right. So you got to set up to this. So I will pause, but Royston says cohort 3. She was in cohort 3. We're starting cohort 4's challenge tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you are locked in for that. He's still in contact with cohort 3. Cohort 3 was special. All the cohorts are special.
Listen, yeah, they all are special. And this one, and we know it's going to be special.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, the visibility. And what I want to just say before you get there is, we talked about, I'm not a speaker. I just want to grow my business. Right. So we talked about, hey, any business you have, speaking is going to be included. But maybe for someone, maybe the reason you think you're not a speaker is because your definition of what it means to be a speaker is too limited. Maybe you're only thinking big stage, big lights, everyone watching you. But in this challenge, we're actually going to show you that there's a stage for everyone. There's a stage for everyone. So Pierre, talk about how public speaking, which gets you paid and gives you visibility, how that can help. How does that help you get visibility?
So here's the thing, right? I'm sitting at home. I'm comfortable, man. I got 3 lights. Got my little blackout sound dampening curtain. Got my little my teleprompter. Got my stream deck. Got my roadcaster, my pod mic. I'm comfortable in my space. I'm looking forward to the challenge. But man, Monday night of the challenge and the Tuesday night of the challenge, I ain't gonna be here. I'm not gonna be with my lights and my camera and my teleprompter and my curtain, my space. Y'all, it might even look a little ashy when we on the challenge, when you look at my camera. Why? Because I'll be on the road. I'll be training a client for a couple of days, and I don't pack studio with me. I pack laptop and I pack headphones, and we're out there because I'm actually doing the thing that we're teaching you in this challenge. And the client that I have, the space that I have, it's not a huge stage. It's only about 50 people, 50 leaders that we're working with over the course of 2 to 3 days. But let me tell you, it's a really good engagement. I'll just put it like that. It's a really, really good engagement. So the visibility piece, right? We go from private speaking that builds connection, and we go from platform speaking that builds credibility. Public speaking builds visibility. So I had to take a deep breath on that, because I think people are afraid of the visibility piece. I think we have crafted this idea that in order for me to be on a larger stage or a more notable stage or a stage that has some level of significance to it, I need to be a certain type of person. Like, I'm not super motivational.
Oh, I'm not super extroverted.
I'm not super analytical. I'm not super deep, or whatever these superimposed things that we have. When you look at the speaking market, you realize, man, there are people who fit in every single category.
Absolutely.
There are extroverts who are killing it. There are introverts who are killing it. There are people who juggle and do backflips who are killing it. There are people who use PowerPoint slides and the font is a little bit smaller than I would suggest and that I would coach, and who are absolutely killing it. So the market really needs you to be who you are. That's it. The market needs you to be who you are. And you realize once you start speaking on platforms and you start doing conferences and keynotes and larger workshops, you realize that people are looking for the unique blend of talent, experience, and personality that you bring to that stage. And not only that, they start that's the visibility piece. They start telling other people. They start DMing people. They start sending your contact information to other people. They start saying, listen, we just had Kimon here for our training. We do our staff training every year. We got about 30, 35 people. We just had Kimon. He is amazing. You should think about having him at your staff training sometime later on this year. So it's the larger platforms, it's the larger stages, the conferences, the keynotes, the workshops. I know we don't have time to break it down fully in the space here,
but we
especially
we will in the
challenge, definitely in the challenge, but especially for my authors in the space.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The large conference helps you sell the book.
Mm-hmm.
And by interacting with people in the large conferences, everyone, especially when you crush that talk, that keynote or breakout session, people are starting to want to ask, hey, do you have a coaching program? Do you have a training program? Do you have a cohort experience that I could be a part of? Because you say, I don't really want to be on the stage. I just want to coach people. I didn't really want to write the book. I just want to coach people. The ecosystem works together. This is why we've had the challenges in the sequence that we've had them. And this is why we're explaining speaking the way we are to you, whatever you want to build visibility in. Maybe it's a coach, maybe as a speaker, maybe as a consultant, maybe as a chef, maybe as a trainer, as an author, speaking, the bigger the experience that people encounter you, the more opportunities you have to drive them toward the good product or service that you are offering. So you need to get on the bigger platforms to be able to do that in a really cool way. An experience of this, I spoke a couple of weeks ago at a conference. Someone spoke before me for about 45 minutes. I spoke next, it just in rapid succession, 45 minutes. And then afterwards, they had a table signing. The guy who was speaking before me is not he wouldn't consider himself a speaker in that way. He wants to just make sure his book gets out to the marketplace. We both had our table set up after the keynote segments, and people were just coming to us. They bought the book in the bookstore and they just came to us to sign their book based on that experience that they had with us being on the stage. So you see, okay, if you want to reach a wider audience and have much bigger impact, you're going to have to be able to articulate that, not just in the private one-on-one or small group coaching calls, not just on podcasts and interviews, but also on larger stages like conferences and workshops as well.
Yeah. And then here's the other thing here. When you spend time with someone, listening to them, even if you're in a bigger room, that connection deepens even more because it's live, it's in person. And so I think you said it. This challenge is for people who want to grow a speaking business and people who want to grow a business through speaking.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably almost everyone who's watching this, because you have something that you want to grow, some business, some venture that you've started that you're now saying, I want this to go a little further. I have this, maybe it's a ministry. You want to help people. Well, if you have a ministry that you have to help people, you should want to help as many people as possible. And one of the key ways to do that is to talk about it, it privately, to talk about it on platforms, and to talk about it publicly through public speaking. So this challenge, whether you are coaching, that's your lane that you want to find yourself specializing in, you need to speak. If it is books, you want to be an author, you went through Athena's challenge, you got to talk about it. And maybe you haven't done any of these challenges. Well, don't let this one pass you by, because this will be one that will connect all the rest, and it can be a standalone just for you to gain that clarity and to learn the mindset, the methodology, and the message that you have to carry into the world. So Pierre, let me show you something, because Charisse was giving us some stuff here, talking about her experiences, and so is Roycelyn. But you know, it's always good to have some proof. I didn't even tell you I was going to show this. But
I knew it was coming though.
Look at this, man. This is from John T. Boston II.
John T. Boston.
John took our challenge, and if you were in the challenge in the cohort with John was, I mean, that thing was just special. I mean, just the way he shared, the way everything went down. And he said this. I wanted to tell Kimon about this, but he didn't text me back. That's not true. He says, in my award-winning acceptance speech, I want to thank Gamal, Pierre, Kimon, and my family. Stay tuned. At the end of April, I'm interviewing and executive producing an event with Dr. Oma Obama, half-sister of America's 44th president. It's a paid gig. And he even put a screenshot of the check, $5,050. Now, Pierre, the promise that we make is that you'll make your first 5K. Where'd you go, Pierre? Oh, man, hold on. I'm getting all fancy. Let me put you back up. There we go.
I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, we said 5,000. Well, John said, I'm gonna go above that, $5,050. So by just using the strategies in the challenge, he was able to get that within short order. And I just reached out to him today, and he's continuing to put the stuff that he learned in the challenge into practice to build his business as speaking and his speaking business, his business through speaking and speaking business. And one of the things we're going to do in the challenge, I'm just going to tell you, maybe you're saying, I'm not main stage. We're going to tell you about the different stages you can leverage and how much, this is new, how much you can make on any of those stages. So that's some new stuff. You want to make sure you come on for this challenge. So someone's asking, this is the question you wanted to ask while we were talking about it. How can I be a part of this challenge? We're glad you asked. All right, it's simple. The link, we're going to put it right here on the screen. It is monetizingministrychallenge.com/speaking. Now, if you just went to the challenge, Monetizing Ministry Challenge, you just have to scroll down. But we're trying to give you straight to that page, monetizingministry.com/speaking. Now, there are two actions you can take. You can register general admission or VIP. General admission, you get the first hour, which is the training. But if you do the VIP, you get both hours, the training and the coaching, and you're a VIP. Why not sign up for the VIP? You get the hour where you can ask questions, and people ask, has anyone ever asked a question you said, oh, I would be giving you too much insight, so I won't answer that question?
Nah, you VIP
there's no
is
gatekeeping.
VIP.
Yeah,
VIP
there's no gatekeeping.
Is VIP. And if you've been on a challenge with us, you know this to be true. There is something, y'all, we don't plan it that way.
Yeah.
There's just something unique that happens when we are in coaching mode. When after our teaching portion is over and everybody who signed up for just the teaching portion logs off and we are sort of backstage with our VIP people, something always unlocks in those spaces. And we can't predict. We don't know when it's going to happen. We just know it happens, and we believe that's going to happen for you. So sign up for the VIP. Yeah. Sign up for the VIP, and it'll be well worth it.
I don't have a pair of glasses here, but in the VIP, there's always a moment where Pierre takes off his glasses. That's when you know it's called a moment. And those of you who've been in the challenge, you know,
I got to pack it. I got to pack my glasses.
You know, there is the moment. You don't want to miss the moment. And Roycelyn says the VIP session is so worth it. And maybe you're saying, hey, listen, I can't make it to all the sessions. Like, we want you to be on there. As a VIP, you get access to the recordings until next week, Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And trust me, even if you're on live, you want those recordings because there is something you go, run that back. I want to hear that again. So listen, again, maybe you came onto this live and you were thinking to yourself, I'm not a speaker. That's not my thing. I'm not a speaker. I'm afraid of public speaking. And we just want to tell you, you have a business inside of you, a business you're already growing. You have something to get out into the world, some message, some ministry, something you've been working on. And speaking through private speaking, platform speaking, or public speaking is the way to grow that. It's the way to reach more people, to build more trust, to build more connection, so you can increase your income and your impact. Pierre, let's give us a closing word, man. Tell someone who is on the fence. They've been on that page about 5 times this week, and they're like, I'm not sure.
Listen, y'all, here's the truth. The next 3 days are going to pass anyway.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're going to pass. anyway. You're going to get to the end of this time next week. And in some ways, you're going to think to yourself, where did the time go? What would it be like on the other side of Wednesday that you could walk away with practical, actionable tools and also a new community that revolutionized the way you ended 2025 and the way that you stepped into 2026? Not only speaking to grow your business, but also stretching that idea of growing a speaking business or a speaking ministry as well. This is what we're going to do in that challenge. You've been clicking, you've been hovering, you've gotten to the last page. Just make the commitment. Don't waste the time. I promise you, if you invest in yourself right now, how you end 2025 and how you begin 2026 will be much different than you could have ever imagined. And we look forward to seeing you in the challenge.
Yeah, love it. Listen, I'm gonna let y'all go out with this, Pierre, because I'm gonna play one more video.
Do it, man.
I'm gonna find that video. Listen, I got to play that video for y'all because we're gonna let Ramona get the last word on this, just so that y'all know. Y'all gotta be in the challenge. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
This felt like lifting the veil.
I can't remember the last time I spent $47 and got this much value.
These last 3 days have been full of a lot of game, a lot of gems.
Like, this has helped me get out of my own head.
You've given us the cheat codes.
This is really validating the calling that I believe God has been, nudging me to say, it's time to come up higher.
Now I know how to obtain those speaking engagements, who I need to contact, what I need to send. So this was absolutely beneficial to everything I want to do going forward.
There were multiple unlocks for me.
I walked away with just seeing my work and my voice and my purpose.
Both Pierre and Kimon are experts in what they do, and them together provide us with the opportunity to become experts in a speaking space in what we do uniquely and confidently.
Yeah, if you haven't joined this challenge or you haven't joined the academy, you're wasting time. Do it now.